Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us again today. Today, I'll be presenting from the Srimad Bhagavatam. My name is Kgosi and yeah, we'll be presenting in Books Are the Basis, the reading club. So I'll be starting off with just by giving obeisances and saying all glories to Srila Prabhupada and saying Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So that's just to give our thanks to all the people who have imparted this spiritual knowledge to us. Well, time to get started, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, I'll be reading from the book. So, when SCOM hits, you can always pick up the book. Okay. Nunam Pramata Kurute Vikama Yad Indraya Pritaya Aprinoti Na Sadhu Manye Yata Atmano Yam Asan Api Kle Sada Asa Deha. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Although the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. I'd like to read that again. I think it's so brilliant. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Although the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded a material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. Begging, borrowing, and stealing to live for sense gratification is condemned in this verse because such consciousness leads one to a dark, hellish condition. The four sinful activities are illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. These are the means by which one gets another material body, which is full of miseries. In the Vedas, it is said, Asango Hai Ayam Purusa. The living entity is not really connected with this material world, but due to his tendency to enjoy the material senses, he is put into the material condition. One should perfect his life by associating with devotees. He should not become further implicated in the material body. Here, materialistic persons are described as paramata, extremely mad or intoxicated. They're running here and there in their motor cars. From 5 o'clock in the morning or even earlier, the main roads are full of motor cars. What is the aim of such materialistic persons? Yad Indraya Pritaya Aprinoti. The aim is to satisfy their senses. Eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy. That's all. Get money, go to the restaurant, go to the liquor shop, go to the prostitute house, and to the nightclub. Yeah. They do not know anything more than in their pretty sense gratification. So they are all mad, and they are being implicated in so many sinful activities due to their desires for sense gratification. The result is that they get another material body after death. Everyone gets a certain type of body according to his sins and specific desires for sense gratification. Otherwise, why are there so many varieties of life? Why is one soul born as a human being, another as a pig, another as a demigod, another as a tree, another as a fish? These varieties of life are all due to different desires for sense gratification and degrees of implication in sinful activities. Krishna resides within the heart as the Supersoul, and he knows our desires and activities, as he says in Bhagavad Gita. Isvara sarva Bhutanam hid dese juna tistati brahmayan sarva Bhutani yantra rudani mayaya. The Isvara, the Supreme Lord, is situated in everyone's heart as a supersoul, overseeing the wanderings of the living entities in the material world. The materialist is always thinking, if I would have acted like this, I would have gotten that opportunity. And then I would have enjoyed like this. This kind of thinking is going on continually. And it is God's business, his thankless business, to note down, all right, the rascal wants to enjoy like this, so I'll give him such a facility. He's so merciful that he orders Maya, the material nature, give him such and such body so he can enjoy as he wants. Therefore, we see so many varieties of bodies. They are all due to the varieties of desire. Unfortunately, all of these bodies are sources of misery. Klesada, sorry. Anyone who has a material body must suffer. Even the millionaire must suffer. There was once a very rich man in Calcutta who could hardly eat. He had no appetite. He was served sumptuous food simply as a show, but he could not eat. Yeah, that would suck. Imagine. One day he saw a poor man passing on the street carrying a fish and singing jubilantly. The rich gentleman said, I am a rich man, but I have no appetite for the many opulent foods that are served to me. Yet, that poor man is thinking how he'll go home and cook his fish and eat it very nicely. He is so jubilant. If I could have been that poor man, at least I could have enjoyed some food. In spite of his becoming rich, he could not gratify his senses. His body was simply a source of misery. So if you want to stop these varieties of material bodies, then you should give up all your nonsensical material desires. We already have a body that is a source of misery. Everyone has experience. No one can say, my body never feels pain, I am perfect. No one can say, my body never feels pain, I am perfect. That is not possible. As soon as you get a material body, it must be subjected to so many sufferings. Tribulations there must be. Therefore, you should try to stop getting these material bodies. And to do this, you must practice devotional service to Krishna. Otherwise, you will continue on the path of birth and death, as Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita. As Radada Hana Purusa Dharmasyasya Param Tapa Aprapaya Mam Nirva Dante Mrityu Samsara Vratmani. If you have no faith in the process of Krishna, if you have no faith in the process of Krishna consciousness, you cannot attain Krishna. And then you must continue on the path of birth and death, getting one body and again dying, getting another body and again dying. In the modern age, education in these subjects is practically nil. It is very regrettable, but the information is there in the Vedic scriptures. One who is intelligent will take advantage of this science, Krishna consciousness, and mold his life accordingly so that he can stop this process of repeatedly accepting a body that is klesada, the source of all miseries, that is the perfection of life. I want to wipe my face. Now, moving on to the fifth text. Parabhavas tavad aboda jato yavan na jagasata atma tatvam yadvat kri. Thank you. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't like being under the light. Let me start again. Parabhavas tavad aboda jato yavan na jigasata atma tatvam yavad kriyas tavad idam manovai karamat makam yena sarira banda. As long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. Be it sinful or pious, karma has its resolute actions. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmatmaka, colored with fruitive activities. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear, and as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material body. Generally, people think that one should act very piously in order to be relieved from misery, but this is not a fact. Even though one engages in pious activity and speculation, he is nonetheless defeated. His only aim should be emancipation from the clutches of Maya and all material activities. Speculative knowledge and pious activity do not solve the problems of material life. One should be inquisitive to understand his spiritual position, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, text 4, verse 37. Yatai damsi samito ni basma sat kurite juna ja nagi sarva kar mani basma sat kurite tata. As the blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes all reactions to material activities. Unless one understands the self and its activities, one has to be considered in material bondage. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Ya, ye, ravin daksa, vi mukta, maninas, vai asta bavad, avisuddha udaya. A person who doesn't have knowledge of devotional service may think himself liberated, but actually he is not. Aruya kriche rena param padam tata patanti ado nadrita yusmad agriya. Such people may approach the impersonal Brahman of effulgence, but they fall down again into the material enjoyment because they have no knowledge of devotional service. As long as one is interested in karma or gyan, he continues enduring the miseries of material life, birth, old age, disease, and death. Karmis certainly take one body after another. As far as gyanis are concerned, unless they are promoted to the topmost understanding, they must return to the material world. As explained in the Bhagavad Gita, Buhu nam janmanam ante Gyanavan Mam Prapadyate. The point is to know Krishna, Vasudeva, as everything and surrender unto him. Karmis do not know this. But a devotee who is 100% engaged in devotional service of the Lord knows fully what is karma and jnana. Therefore, a pure devotee is no longer interested in karma or jnana. Anya bila sita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam. The real bhakta is untouched by any tinge of karma and jnana. His only purpose in life is to serve the Lord. Therefore, his mind is always engaged in thoughts of Krishna. He is free from bondage to a material body. Sarira Banda. The material body is actually a great impediment to the soul. But in modern so-called civilization, there is no education on these matters. The material body is actually a great impediment to the soul. But in the modern so-called civilization, there is no education on these matters. Yeah, that had to be repeated. In the state of bondage, whatever you do for your so-called material progress is ultimately defeated. Parabhava. People are busily engaged throughout the day and night, thinking they are making material progress. But it is not progress, it is regression. This they do not know. Why? Because they never inquire into Atma Tattva, the spiritual values of life. Even big professors think that they have received their body by accident, and that as soon as the body is finished, everything is finished. That means they do not know the first lesson of Atma Tattva, that the soul or the self is eternal. And on the basis of this misconception, they are inventing so many isms: communism, altruism, humanitarianism, etc. Recently, we talked with a medical man who was working on a cure for leprosy. That is good, but why should there be leprosy in the first place? Why is one man suffering from leprosy, another one not suffering? Who is making this arrangement? These questions modern people do not ask because they have become dull. And therefore, whatever plans they make are baffled after some time. Parabhava. They do not know what plans they should make for their ultimate benefit. For example, a child would think, if I play like this, I will be very nice. It will be very nice. So he engages in one type of play. Then he becomes dissatisfied and gives up the play and engages in another type of play. Out of ignorance, a bodha, the child does not know where to find lasting happiness. To dissipate this ignorance, one has to approach a person who is not a bodha, but Buddha, full of knowledge. Such a person is called Buddha, wise man, because he knows the real goal of life and how to attain it. This word Buddha is where Lord Buddha's name comes from. He understood everything. At first, he was not Buddha. He was a prince, and he never came out of the palace. But one day he left the palace and saw an old man with a walking stick, walking with great difficulty. So he inquired from his servants, "What is that? What is this?" "It's an old man," they replied. Everyone has to become like this. That was the inspiration for him to seek understanding. He inquired, why should he be like that? Why should one have to become an old man and be forced to walk with a stick? These inquiries made him Buddha, and he became Lord Buddha by meditation. Of course, that was his pastime. But he showed by example how inquisitiveness into the ultimate cause of suffering can lead one to proper knowledge. And where to get that proper knowledge? From a guru. The Vedas say, Tad viganatam saguram eva bigache eva bigachehet. If you want proper knowledge of the absolute truth, you must approach a bona fide guru. People should be encouraged to inquire from the guru about the process for realizing the absolute truth. Sadharma Prachat. The students should be eager to know. It is not that one should accept the guru as a fashion. Nowadays, many people do that. Everyone has a dog. Yeah. Nowadays, many people do that. Everyone has a dog and everyone has a guru. So let me keep a guru. That is not the way to real understanding. One should be very inquisitive, but one should also serve the guru, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Text 4, verse 34. Tad vidi pranipatena pariprasena sevaya upadek yanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darsena. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. You must be ready to serve the guru. Then you have the right to ask questions. First, you must find a person to whom you can fully surrender, pranipatena. Then you can inquire from him about Atma Tattva, spiritual science. And the inquiry should be accompanied by service. The more service you render to Guru, the more the truth is revealed. Yasya Deve Para Bhakti Yate Deve Tata Gura Tasyati Katita Hai Arta Prakasante Mahatmana. Only unto those great souls who have unflinching devotion to the Lord and to the spiritual master is transcendental knowledge revealed. No, thank you. Thank you everyone for listening. My thoughts on that is that we don't have time. As Prabhupada saying that we have continued to take up these bodies again and again and again, and we are doing the same things as animals, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And in the book, he recommends that instead of continuing to do what we've always been doing, how's about we take up something else and inquire about ourselves? One should become inquisitive, he says, like a Buddha, and ask questions as to why we are here, what are we doing here, when we die, what will happen afterwards. Prabhupada actually says that because we can see that there's a past, present, and future, one should also then understand that even when I die again, when I die, there is a future. As he's saying in this book that, this is not our material, this body is not actually who we are, and that these bodies are actually an impediment. And he makes a very good example with an old person. We all have grandparents, grandmothers, grandfathers. I'm sure we have that experience of seeing them in a very old age. My grandfather actually used to always complain about how that he's getting old now and that, he just wants to leave this place. He's tired, Man, in the other time I was thinking that maybe he's feeling like this because he can no longer properly enjoy it anymore. His senses are waning, they're no longer as strong. He can no longer walk so much anymore. His eyes cannot see. He's unable to hold the stool as he would have wished to. So there's so many miseries that come with this body. And this book is really, really imploring us to think deeper, think beyond the fact that we should wake up every morning and just go to work and not consider ourselves, not consider what will happen, because in the end, work will not save us, really. If something should happen to us on the way to work, that boss or whatever will not come to you and say, I will offer you my life in your place. So there's really nothing to lose, actually, from inquiring about the absolute self, inquiring about God submissively, going to those, finding people who are like-minded, interested in spiritual activities, spiritual information, and finding out more about ourselves, the human condition, because that's what we really are, spirit souls. So it is really important for us to really consider and really question, what are we doing here? What can we do? And how can we better get to know ourselves? Because as Prabhupada says, all we're doing is just waking up in the morning, going to get our food, and then coming back, a little sex, a little that, and that is life. And then we die. And that is not the point of life. Yeah, that is not the point of life at all. Because that is just animal life. And animals, as you can see, go here and there. They don't know what's left, what's right. They don't know what they are. So we also shouldn't repeat the same. So I hope you guys will join us next time and really be encouraged to start reading, engage, ask questions. I hope you guys can ask more questions. You can catch Savia the monk. He will answer all questions on Saturday. And you can always catch this information on Veda Base. Or if you want, you can come catch the book here at the Wisa House. And come read with us. Join us every Thursday. We always do some type of reading about the soul, about God, about the human condition, everything that is related to the soul. That's very important. That's the only thing we actually get to keep. Whatever activities we are doing here, when the body is finished, everything is finished. as hard as that is to sometimes comprehend, but it is the truth. We all have experience of that. That when someone dies, even Prabhupada says that when someone dies, we all say our father is gone, even though he's here sitting in the coffin, wherever it might be. So that's, a little bit of proof that we do know actually that we are not this body, but the soul. So hopefully we can take lessons from that we don't have time, and that we should really take this great opportunity of having a human body and inquire about ourselves and about Krishna. Haribo, thank you very much. Sorry for the sweating, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.